Hello, beautiful human. I'm Zach. That is Dan. And today we welcome to the studio an icon, a human being that you definitely know. You've seen him on Disney Channel. You've seen him as Justin Russo. He's a director. He's a producer. Say hello to David Henrie, everybody.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you for having me.
Woo.
Smells lovely in here. By the way, what is the scent that we have going?
That's a good candle, right? Okay. This is, it's called Spiritual, and it's Palo Santo and what?
1 second.
You're not going to be able to pronounce it.
Vetiver.
I thought I was sensing a little vetiver.
Yeah, I don't think
So
it's
this is
pronounced
perfect.
that way.
No, complete.
No, it's wrong. But it smells good.
It does smell good.
Thank you for being here.
Of course, happy to be here, guys. Thanks for having me. This is epic.
No, you're very interesting. Like,
Okay.
Let's start off the bat. Like, I had no idea that when you were a kid on Wizards, you actually wrote an episode of the show.
Yes. Yeah. I think I'm still like the youngest. I was a teenager when I did that. And yeah, I was always like, I was a kid actor. I was always very inquisitive. I started when I was like 9 and I was just always asking questions. I wanted to know how the sausage was made. And so once I got on a Disney show and I was a series regular, I was just always like begging the writers to just sit in the room and see how it all came together and try to understand how it came together. And at one point, I don't know if they felt bad for me or what, they said I could start pitching. And so I'd sit on like the outside and it's kind of a intense setting. You got a round table. All the writers are sitting on the round table. Then you have a whole nother set of seats that surround the table. And that's where I was seated. And like, those are like the guys trying to get into the table. And every so often you could like raise your hand and pitch. And I got a couple moments where I could pitch. Some jokes got put in the scripts. And then slowly I was given a chance to like get a spec script and they read it. And then I got an episode. Yeah, I started writing for the show.
Do you remember your first pitch?
Oh man, I wish it was a joke it was a Max joke. So it was a joke for the young kid on the show. And I was so nervous to do it, right? Because like this is my first time I'm pitching. And like if they don't laugh at this, it's like, oh, the actor, is trying to be a writer. But it was a Max joke. It was something about him screwing up, going up the stairs, doing a button hook, turning around and giving a punchline. And I don't remember what the freaking joke was, but there was like this awkwardly long pause after I pitched. And I really went for it. I was really like, he goes up the stairs, da-da-da-da-da. He comes back in and says, bah. And beat, big laugh. And I was like, oh, thank God. Like, it's the longest moment in my life. But yeah, man, I worked hard and I got a chance to like actually write and go behind the scenes. And that was my first spark of like just wanting to be involved in the creative process. That was just a big deal for me. And thankfully that spark like continued forward.
It's very interesting because can you describe the laughter that exists in that room? Because it's like not necessarily like, I wouldn't say like, I've been on set like of Nickelodeon shows, right?
Yep.
And you're on set and you hear them laugh, like they kind of have to laugh to fill in the void of the room, whatever.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not even necessarily a genuine laugh, but they're necessarily taking those beats to put their mind in the mind of the audience and then react that way. Like, can you describe, like, now as a producer, like even as you're vetting stories and like trying to understand what is funny, because it may not be what you find naturally funny, but you have to kind of put yourself into a different place. Yes?
Completely. Yeah. And that's like the art of the sitcom. I think the laugh track was really created to try to create this, when other people if you're just hanging out with buddies and there's a bunch of buddies around and stuff, when there's more laughter, you're having a better time. And like, rather than just one-on-one laughter, if there's a few people around and everyone's laughing, it just increases, it compounds, right? And so I think that was always the mentality behind the laugh track. And it is weird though, as a writer, trying to anticipate that, trying to find what you find funny versus the audience. And the rubber meets the road when you actually do the show in front of the audience.
Real.
When because you're doing it, it's a 5-day show. 1 day is in front of the audience. The other 4 rehearsal. And in rehearsals, everyone's laughing at what they're supposed to laugh at, right? I mean, it's like, this is the joke. And yeah, it's funny, but you've heard it 7 times. It's no longer funny after 7 times, but they have to laugh because they want to keep the actor's confidence up and everything. But when the audience sits in, that's when the rubber meets the road. And a lot of times they will find something else funny, a different part of the joke or a different thing. And so as an actor, it's a little weird because it's like, I'm used to you laughing at this moment and suddenly you're laughing here, but it's kind of a great feeling because you're like, oh, I can manipulate this and I can play with this and I can find the laugh how I want to find the laugh. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, because it gets robotic. Otherwise, like
completely.
Yeah.
Completely. Yeah.
So Wizards is filmed in front of a live audience.
Correct.
So what do you do when a joke flops and you're like, oh, audience, they didn't connect with that one?
You just feel like I suck. You just feel like I suck. Like I screwed this up. But it's the greatest high when it works. When it works, it works. You gotta, like, by that time in your career, hopefully you've developed a thick skin and hopefully you just go, well, that didn't work. I tried it. It didn't work. I went for it hard and it didn't work. And it is what it is. It doesn't mean any less of you. It just didn't work. And that's why you have to have a good relationship with your writers, because is it the writing? Is it you? It's a combo of both. And you freaking go for it, man. Most of the time by then, hopefully you got it down right and it works. But, it feels bad when you whiff. It feels bad when you whiff. Especially if you think you nailed it and you don't get a laugh. It's that Larry David thing of like, why aren't you laughing? Like, that was funny. You should be laughing. Yeah.
I want to understand fully how this thing got off the ground again, because it is a timeless show, right? Like, let's be blunt about it. This show is timeless. People are obsessed with it. It has cultivated a community going back to when I was a kid that really has the potential to stand the test of time and be on forever. Did you ever think, though, that it was going to come back? Because conversations are one thing, right? But, like, I'm sure you'd have conversations, years would go by, maybe something like...
Exactly right.
But, like, did you actually really vision it? Did you really believe it?
I mean, at first, no. It was just Selena and I, like, we're just drinking wine.
Yeah.
Hanging out with my wife. We're just all sitting around drinking wine, joking around, laughing. Selena, like, that was such a formative time in her life. She's got all the episodes on her computer. She watches them to feel better at times. Like, so we'd just be sitting there drinking wine. She's pulling up things on her laptop. We're talking. And, a year would go by. We'd get together. We'd do it again. But then we started hanging out more and more and more. And just finally, it was just an organic moment. There wasn't anything forced, but I was just like, Selena, like, we have like a full pitch here. Like, do you realize, like, this is a show? And I want to say this is like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. Enough time had gone by. I since married, I'm having kids in my own personal life. And it just got to a point where it's like, I don't know, I think it makes sense to just go do this in front of Disney. Like, not with wine, but like, let's just sit and like talk to them and see what they think. Because enough time went by and I think it's the right time for like a family show that has like unitive values and themes and leaves crap out. It's the right time for it.
Can you describe what elements of the show you guys came up with over a bottle or two or a dozen of wine?
Yeah.
Like, was it down to like Max is going to be a billionaire because he's franchising the sub shop, and you're going to be the principal or the head of WizTech, and she's going to be a part of this tribunal? Like, how granular did it get?
Generally, so we knew that Max was going to be a billionaire, like the opposite of what you'd expect. It first started with like, where are our characters present day? And we're like, well, what can we do that's a little different than what you'd expect? And it's like, well, Max, he kind of got screwed at the end of the show. He was like given the sub shop. I got like all my powers. Selena has all of her powers, and poor little Max he gets like the sub shop. So we're like, let's give him something epic. Like, he is a multi-billionaire. He's franchised the sub shop out and he's killing it in life, right? So boom, that's him. For my character, it's like we wanted to do the opposite of how the show ended, which ended on like a family moment. Like, what if everyone's kind of split? So let's start from the Russos forgetting how to be Russos. Let's start in a way where the core themes of the original show have just been flipped on its head. So like, Justin and Alex don't really talk. Justin and Max don't really talk. I haven't seen my parents in a long time. So we start with this broken family, and that was really important to us, was like starting in an opposite direction of the original show. So we have some longevity moving forward, and we have a place to get to.
Building out of something.
Yeah, building out. And also, so then we had Selena's character, who's like off in the wizard world, having adventures and doing her thing. She's kind of like a fashionista still. And with my character, it was like, well, he's the one who has been rejecting the family, and he's rejected the wizard world and rejected his life, the opposite of how we left him, which is where he like was the headmaster. He's got all his powers. He's doing great in life. So now we meet him at this completely different place. So all of that was mapped out before we even went into Disney. Like that's where we started from. And then we met these writers, Jed and Scott, who had the great idea of going, let's bring a girl into this world who has never known family, who has never understood family. And let's have Selena drop this girl off. And this girl has big questions around her. Who are her parents? Where is she from? Why is she there? So it kind of is like an inverse engine of the original show, where the show's where we bring someone in who doesn't understand family, and we have a family who lost their own identity and has to rediscover it. So a lot of that was really baked before we went in, but the addition of the girl was the key, and that's what Jed and Scott came up with, and that really helped launch everything, because it gave us this fertile engine for a family to learn how to be a family again.
Well, it's really, and it is unique because like what it's going to build towards is this idea that like there's going to be this like wizarding family, tournament where like you have to decide who keeps their powers and who does not.
Yes.
But she's not necessarily a part of the family, right? As she's an adopted member.
Exactly right. Or is she a part of the family? I don't know. There's a lot we got to figure out. There's big questions out there. This season's going to tackle all of that. But I just love these like classical elements that you can do in a classical format, which is the sitcom. You can have these big serious things that can be hilariously funny and fail in hilarious ways. I think it's a timeless format. I think sitcoms are important. I'm excited to keep one going that seems to be working, and we hope it'll continue to work.
By the way, you have to watch it. It's all on Disney Plus, obviously. It's really great.
Was this an easy pitch to Disney? Like when you guys brought them idea, were they just like, "Yep, sold, let's do it"?
No. At first they said now's not the right time. In fact, it wasn't until a year later that they said check back in later. Now's not the right time, but we love you guys, and let's just keep in touch. And a year later, I called back again and I said, is it the right time? They're like, this is crazy that you just called. Let's revisit this now. And, it's kind of a bet, right? Like it might seem like the easiest decision to make. Oh yeah, bring back the show in a whole new way. But like, it's a tough time in our business. Like executives all over the town are constantly changing jobs and constantly under pressure to succeed. And they're judged on every single decision they make. So like greenlighting a reboot to a beloved piece of IP, if that doesn't work, people are in trouble. Like it's not good for that executive team that greenlit that show. So like the fact that they believed in us, that they believed in the vision, they believed in our heart, that they took a bet, they took a swing and backed us big time, kudos to them. Because you would originally just think, well, just reboot the show with the main cast and do the whole same thing. But that's not what Selena and I wanted. Selena and I wanted to really bring back in the original fan, but invite them to bring a younger person to watch it with them. That was really on both of our hearts, was like a new generation of kids really needs a classic family show. Because we met so many fans all over the world, dude, that like I met kids in other countries that were like, I was in a borderline dark, like kind of suicidal place, and your show happened to be on, and it took me out of my headspace. It took me out of a dark place. It saved me in a moment. I mean, I've had interactions with fans like this that they needed a laugh, and it totally took them out of where they were, and they needed a nice family message. Like I met kids too that are like, I come from a terrible environment, a terrible family, and I didn't know families could have each other's backs till I saw that show. Like you just don't realize how far-reaching these things can be. So like that motivates me, and that motivates me and Selena to like push this thing forward.
Dude, the power behind something that like some may seem as like so fleeting or just like juvenile, it really, dude, has such impact.
Yeah, you
power.
Don't realize. I never realized how far-reaching it is. Selena knows more than me because
she's out there touring and she can feel it
completely. Yeah. And dude, if you saw the amount of like blood, sweat, and tears she pours into this that she doesn't need to do, like she is so all over this thing in ways that she doesn't need to be.
She gives a producer who's looking at the dailies and is very hands-on.
Yes, she's on marketing calls with like a notebook. Like seriously, like she literally like she's sitting on her couch going like, and then at the end she like takes her moment. She sits forward, looks at her notes, and is like, "So here's what I want to do." And she throws out all these ideas, and having Selena pitch ideas for marketing is like gold because she's got such a keen understanding of what works. It's awesome. Everyone's like, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. It's like, it's awesome. It's awesome.
To build something with individuals who are so deeply tied to the IP and an understanding, and really like there's no two people who are more invested in this new version of the show's success, really, than you. Yes, like the executives, but like nobody like the two of you. Yeah. It is who you are. Like it's forever a part of who you are.
100%, man. 100%. It was our high school, college experience all wrapped into one. And we're excited to do it again, man. It's been a blast.
Do you remember the first day you met Selena? What was your first impression?
I remember I got a call from Gary Marsh, who was the president of Disney. And the show was different when we first did the pilot. It was a completely different show. It was called The Amazing O'Malleys. The characters were different. Everything was different. But he goes, hey, we found this girl in Texas, and she's great. You're going to love her. And she's your twin sister. So it wasn't like I was an older brother that from the original Wizards, we were twins. So it was like a totally different vibe and different atmosphere. And I go, okay, cool. Selena Gomez, cool. Texas girl, cool. And I met her, and she just reminded me of like one of my little cousins. So like instantly I was the annoying older brother and was just like messing with her and joking around. And we had this family bond immediately. This like, I don't know what it was other than like family. Like I could give her crap. She could give me crap. And we're real with each other. I think that's why like to this day, like she knows that I'm just going to give it to her how I see it, and there's no angling or anything going on. But yeah, we got along immediately, and so many memories. I mean, we spent so much time together. We just have countless memories. That's why getting together is so fun, is because it's like you get to go down memory lane.
How hard was it to transition from being a teen to an adult while also being on a TV show that's around forever?
It's a real question, dude. It's a real question, because you're doing something so young. You're doing something at a young age, and you like this, but you're young. It's like, how do you know what you're going to do the rest of your life when you're a teenager? So you finish the show. I finished the show, and I was soul searching. I was very much like, who am I? What do I want to do? I've been doing this since I was a kid. It's all I've known, but like, what do I really want? And the answer, through studying and reading, and the answer just came to me like, just get more involved. Like, try to create your own stuff. Try to go behind the camera. Try to create something that can make impact. So not just get hired and say what you're hired to say. Like, be a part of something. Be a part of doing something that can make impact. And that brought me a lot of fulfillment. That's why I started my own company.
You became a director?
I became a director. We started producing our own stuff, making our own stuff, make shows for Netflix and movies on Paramount Plus and others. And we have a whole bunch of stuff that's coming out towards the end of this year. We have like 3 projects going into production in November.
Wow.
For my company. And this show, and like, yeah, man, this is where I find the most fulfillment, is like utilizing all these relationships and friendships and making things that can like entertain and elevate. That's like my mission statement: entertain, elevate. That's what we look for. That's what we want to do. And yeah, man, that was my answer to that kind of existential crisis, was like, get involved.
Get involved in new ways.
In new ways, exactly.
I mean, you obviously take what you've learned as a kid and growing up on the set, and you use it every day.
Every day. It's all I've known. Yeah. This is like literally, my film school is just like, I remember when I met Mel Gibson to cast him in
That's nuts.
This film. How do you direct an Oscar-winning director, right? Like, so I go into this coffee shop with Mel Gibson, and I like freaking Braveheart, and he's like right there, and I'm about to meet him, and I got nervous because I was like, it's freaking Mel Gibson, man. Like, how am I going to convince him to do my movie? I'm just a kid. And I just walked up to him and said, hey, man, and I don't know if he thought that I like was an employee or something. He was in the middle of a coffee order. It was just the wrong time. But I had to like interject a couple times and be like, I'm David. I'm the director of the movie that we're going to meet on. Let's get a coffee and go meet. I was a little fumbly and I was a little nervous. But you know what? I was like, just forget about any of that and just tell him what you want. Don't look at Braveheart. Look at Mel, the man, the person. Like, get all his movies out of your head and just like tell him, be yourself. He's a human being. You're a human being. We all, are the same. Let's just talk to him. And it ended up being great. I had like a 2-hour meeting with him, and he said the same thing though about acting. He goes, oh, I understand why you're a director. You've been doing this since you were a kid. He's like, that's how I learned too. I didn't, wasn't technically trained as a director. he just done it for so long, and he asked questions and he sat on set. The dude, when we did our movie, he sat on set the entire time right next to me. We got him like an amazing trailer that had like a Viking range grill in it with like a 6-burner. This thing was like a $3 million trailer. And he didn't use it at all. He literally sat next to me the whole time just because he wanted to keep telling the story. He's like, David, try this, try this. And I was like, anything the Oscar-winning director says, we are going to do. So anytime Mel says try something, we're going to try it. And I learned that from him. Always be telling the story. Even if the shot you want is exactly how you want it and the acting is exactly how you want it and it's all going great and you're ahead of schedule, don't sit back. Like, be telling the story. He looked for every little, he'd be like, David, what about adding a little humor in here? Or what about adding a little thing in here? Or crank the camera down a little bit and make it 19 frames a second. When I was doing Braveheart and we were chopping people's heads off, it made it more quick and jarring. He'd say stuff like that. And I'd be like, oh, cool, man. Like, he doesn't ever turn off. Like, he is actively telling the story. And that taught me a lesson. Because sometimes if you're directing and it's all going exactly how you want it, you sit back and you just kind of watch. And it's like, oh, it's going good. But like Mel would be like, how do I make this better? How do I make this better? And that was cool to see. That was cool to see.
Are there any like similarities between doing something that is a multicam sitcom and then doing something that is, I don't know, some big feature movie with Mel Gibson? Definitely not a multicam.
Definitely not a multicam. Blocking. The thing you learn in sitcoms is how to block. Like you really need to know how to block to story and how to block to comedy, especially. Like, something can be funny just based on blocking. Like, if I'm working with an actor that maybe doesn't understand comedy, I learned in sitcoms, just tell him to say the first half of the line here and then shift his body weight for the punchline here. So it's like ba 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 duh. Like, just that little thing can make the line funny if they're not doing it funny. And you learn a lot of little tricks like this from growing up on sitcoms, and you learn how to block. So to me, starting with a top-down view of like blocking a scene is what I do, because I want to know how people are moving, and I want it to be organic, of course, but having a general understanding of blocking is a really important initial step to take. So I learned that on sitcoms, just how to block. Because when you stand a sitcom on its feet and you're rehearsing, you spend 3 days blocking. So it's 3 full days of just moving characters around, adjusting their position, and walking them around the room. And that's what you do for 3 days. You're literally just blocking and performing, obviously, but the blocking is super important. So I think that really helped me when I went to direct. It tremendously was blocking.
It's really interesting. Like, and is it sad that the multicam sitcom is dead?
Yeah, but it's not dead. We're bringing it back.
I'm trying.
Yeah, we're trying to bring it back. I think it's been around for 100 years, man. I don't think it's going anywhere.
There's far less kids multicam that exists today than have ever existed before.
I talked about this with my cast. They're like, what's it going to be like? Like, when the show comes out, what's it going to be like? And I'm like, we have to understand, guys, that when we did the original show, there was like 5 shows that the entire world's population of children watched.
Yeah. Then it was like, Drake and Josh?
Yeah, it's
iCarly,
like 3 on Nickelodeon, like 4 on Disney.
Totally.
And that's what the entire world watched. Like, there was no YouTube. There was nothing else. It was just that. Now, it's completely different. It's actually flipped. More kids are on YouTube than they are anywhere else. And the shows just aren't there anymore. So we're hoping that this show can be the tip of the spear of like bringing back a scripted format, because sitcoms have such a nice way of problem and solution that I think is good for human beings.
I agree with that. That's a really great way to break it down.
Yeah.
Problem and solutions, because that is essentially the core of every episode of a multicam sitcom.
100%. And it makes us think we can do that in our own lives. Any episode of Friends, just the general sense of leaving a sitcom, everything's going to be okay.
I'm with you.
Everything's going to be all right.
But people are into the doom these days, bro.
I know. We're trying to change it, dude. We're trying to change it.
I support this effort.
You mentioned like all these kids are on the internet. Do you think like Disney and Nickelodeon can still produce the stars like the Selenas and Mileys and Demis and Arianas? Or
I think that's their unique challenge, and I absolutely think they can do it. Look, they've adjusted with the times historically. Disney's been around a long time. They've been launching stars for a very long time. I think that's tried and true. They have to continue to do it, and that's really what we want to do with Janice. When we found Janice, who's like the new Selena on the show, unbelievably talented, her timing, everything is great. She sings. I think there's an opportunity to do that with her, and she wants it, and that's something she wants to do. So I definitely think that is the unique challenge with Disney. I think our show is the tip of the spear to hopefully launch some other shows behind it and get back to that magic. You know, it's to do it in a new way and in a different time. I think the sitcom needs to adjust a little bit, which is what we're trying on our show. Make it a little more serialized, bring in a little more drama, a little more soap than I think is normal. And I think these are things you can do to try to update it. But that's our challenge. That's what we're trying to do.
The soapiness of it is really smart. Because it's the same like set structure, same sort of like 4-camera thing.
But just bring in new plot devices, new storytelling devices to keep it alive.
Yes.
So that's the goal, man.
I believe in your effort.
Thank you, my friend. Let's go.
I support you.
Let's go.
I very much support you. By the way, growing up in this thing is really hard.
Yeah.
And you talked about the next star there's 3 kids in this show.
Yeah.
1, who kept you grounded growing up? And then 2 is like, what part of that do you pass on to these kids as they're now about to embark on this whole, it's like a very long chapter or many chapters of life that this is now going to be a part of?
100%, bro. I talk a lot about this. Like, genuinely, I'm going to write a book on this one day, like kid acting, because I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, man. And there's a few common denominators that lead to a healthier adult life from a kid actor. Here's what I've noticed. Number 1, like, it starts with the parents. Yeah. It is all about the parents. Like, if the parent is a parent and the kid is a kid and there's a healthy dynamic there, you're going to have a good, you're going to have your best shot at success for that kid later in life. Like my parents, I got lucky that my parents just supported me like you'd support a kid in a sport. Like, they definitely pushed me, and they definitely, like you'd push a kid in a sport. My dad was always like, dude, if you ever are tired of this, let's get the hell out of LA and just go, back home. And so I always had that in the back of my mind, that my parents never needed me. Like, the second your parents need you, the second your parents start working for you, you start paying their bills, you start becoming the breadwinner, that's a recipe for disaster.
Now, your parents were also in the industry, right, to a certain degree, and then your brother as well.
Yeah, my brother was. They weren't actually. My mom, once we became adults, my mom became a kid actor, and
Imagine
a kid manager.
Wait, she started managing.
Yeah, she became a kid manager because so many people would come to her for advice.
Yeah, that's smart.
And finally, she was just like, "Well, here's what I would do. Here's what I would do." And then she formed a company and did her on her own. But we never worked together. That was like my mom. There was a really defining moment. I told this to the kids in my set. When I was young, my mom worked with me like a coach. She helped my lines just like all kid actors' moms do. They work on your lines with you, get you prepared for the audition. When I started going through puberty as a teenager, it just got combative with me and my mom. I didn't want to listen to her. I didn't like my mom telling me things.
That's called normal life, though, dude.
It's normal life. 100% it's normal life. But it was this weird dynamic of like professional stuff because I'm going in for auditions. She's coaching me. It was this weird professional environment. And I remember my mom like took the sides. We were arguing. She took the sides and threw them down. And she was like, "This is not worth you as my son. I'm never coaching you ever again."
That's awesome.
And it was awesome, man. It was a big moment. And that really helped our relationship because from that moment on, she was just my mom. And like, that was the healthiest thing in the world that could have ever happened with me and my mom. And I told that to my cast and to the parents because I was trying to tell them from the beginning, like, first and foremost, your kids are your kids. Do not become momagers and dadagers. Like, don't cross that line. You cross that line and you are setting your kids up for utter disaster. When that kid turns 18 and that kid goes, "Wait, where's my money? How have I been spending it? Wait, I'm paying for this and that. And hold on, how's this working?" Like, man, I've seen it go so south. And not only that, psychologically, kids are not built to be breadwinners. Like, it's a total foreign atmosphere. I'm going to do a book on this one day, man. There's the title. Would I let my kid act?
That's good.
Would I let my kid act? And I'm going to sit down with all my friends in the industry, people you've probably had on the podcast that have been kid actors, And I'm going to start with that question and just have a dialogue with them. Would you let your kid act?
You go.
I was going to say, what's the answer to that question for you? You're a dad.
My answer right now, if I had to give a one-word answer, it would be no. Yeah. But I would explain there's nothing wrong with improv. There's nothing wrong with a hobby. There's nothing wrong with being a performer, getting in a school play, doing plays and theater. Like, that's all great. It's a great way to express creativity. And I'll also put my kid in the background of a set that I'm controlling. But the grind and the hustle and the hard work of being a kid actor, it's hard, man. It's freaking hard. You're going on sometimes, if you're actually working like I was and you're actually doing it, you're going on 3-4 auditions a week. You're spending 10 hours prepping for one audition. And then you get the callback and you go in for that. And you get another callback and you go in for that. And the pressure of being at that final moment, negotiations, lawyers, agents, managers, constantly going in front of the spotlight and having people look at you and comment. Kids aren't built for that, in my opinion. There are exceptions, complete and total exceptions, which is like, you know, if you have a really talented kid and this is what he wants to do, the best way to do it is to support your kid like a kid in a sport. And that's the environment that I try to create on Wizards and that I talk with the parents and everyone about, which is like, they're kids. Let's treat them like kids and let them have fun. Yes, we want them to be excellent. Yes, we want them to be on time and to do their job. But let's try to create this atmosphere of a sport where it's like, you're kids, you're having fun. It's not the end of the world. And we talk. It's like, hey, you guys feeling pressure right now? Just so you know, that's not, it's okay. This is not a normal situation for your brain to be in because you're a kid.
By the way, I think the only way that these sets remain healthy like this is if former children's stars are the ones leading the set. Point blank, period.
Yeah.
Like, it is the only way.
Yeah.
Or Nathan Kress or Allison Stoner or Matt Bennett or whoever. These are people who have been there and understand it, because I'm going to tell you something. I spent many, many, many days, many weeks, months on set, ultimately over years. Not once did I ever hear a single showrunner go, if you're feeling pressure or stress right now, it's all good. Like, go take a walk. Like, take a deep breath. Never.
Yeah. It's
never.
And I was that kid, right? I was that kid. So now, like, when I direct and stuff, I'm constantly checking in with the kids because, like,
no, because you were there.
100%.
And nobody fucking checked in on you, most likely.
No, it wasn't even in the zeitgeist. I'm not even faulting the people at the time because it just wasn't in the vernacular. It was just like,
well-being.
It was not like we didn't have mental health coaches around. Mental health wasn't even a word.
Real.
It's like, for instance, when I was a kid, Video Village is like 50 feet away, right? And so it's far. So that's where the director is. That's where everyone is.
Everyone who creates hives and anxiety for actors sits in Video Village.
Sits in Video Village. They're in this hut, right? It's like 50 feet away. And you're doing your scene and then you hear cut. It's quiet. They're 50 feet away. You don't know what's going on. So you think you're just sitting there. It's like you're sitting there while they collect their thoughts. It's like 3 minutes of you as an actor. You just heard cut in the middle of your line. And you're like, did I screw up? Oh man. Yeah, I think I messed that up. Yeah. Okay. I could have done that better. And you're anticipating what they're going to say, right? And then they come in and they're like, let's do it again. We just had to adjust the camera. And I'm like, for freaking 5 minutes, I've been sitting here thinking, what have I screwed up? So now when I direct, I literally will go, cut, camera problem. Hold on, guys, relax. And then, and I could see the actors just like deflate because they're like, oh, good. They're not coming in to know me. Or I'll be like, cut, we're flying in notes, guys. 1 second, hold on. And they know, okay, notes are coming in, you know? But you don't know that if you haven't been in those shoes, you know, stuff like that.
So did you help cast, Janice is her name, who plays Billy, right?
Yeah.
Did you help cast her?
Yes.
Okay, so when you're looking for a kid actor, what are you looking for?
I mean, for that role in particular, I was like, we need someone to fill Selena Gomez's shoes. And this is like the most impossible task in the world because Selena is one of however many billions of people are on Earth. How are we going to do that? We auditioned a gajillion kids. And then we saw this girl. At first, I was looking for a mini Selena, like literally a Hispanic girl that's like she's feisty and has got that like Selena spirit. And then we saw this girl, different than Selena, but has this like vulnerability that Selena had and has this energy similar to Selena. And at first she was kind of like she's interesting. She's really interesting. I don't know if it's Is that right? Is it right? I don't know. And the more we saw girls, the more she continued to rise to the surface as like, this is it. To the point where I took my laptop and I go, Selena, get on a Zoom with me. I need to show you this girl. So I get her on Zoom, share screen, play Janice's audition, hang it up, I see Selena now. I go, so what'd you think? And she goes, David, she's the one. She's the one. Selena had a tear in her eye from her audition. And she goes, she's the one. And I was like, okay, yes, that's like exactly what I needed to hear. And now Selena's like championing this girl. They're doing press together. She's like really blessing this girl, like passing the baton to Janice. And couldn't happen to a better girl. Like she calls Selena Miss Selena. And she calls me Mr. David. She's like this like wonderful, sweet, like, yeah, she's like exactly what we could have hoped for.
Yeah, but what an amazing place to be in, where you can change somebody else's life the same way your life was changed.
Exactly right.
How cool.
I feel the same way, man. Every day I tell my wife, like, this is the greatest job ever. Like I get to be home for dinner with my family. It's kind of like a 9-to-5 environment, which is like wonderful because I get to go home and spend time with my wife and kids. And at the same time, I get to like help do everything the way that I wish it would have been done as a kid for me. So it's, nothing's perfect. Obviously, everyone has their moments and it's a normal set. So there's situations we have to resolve, but like there's a genuine atmosphere though of love and caring that is unique. And we've gotten that on our, like, we do reports at the end of the year, people vote and whatnot on set atmosphere, and like very good, like very, very good.
Yeah, but by the way, it doesn't need to be unique. I'm telling you, if networks like Nickelodeon and networks like Disney continue to invest in former child star led projects,
totally,
and they're hands-on led, not like just in name, like actively on set, directing, creating environment, show running, what have you, it doesn't need to be unique. And I think the only way that, like, by the way, the only way like a multicam kids sitcom sustains is if the environment is healthy enough for kids to be there and willing to participate in it.
Agreed, bro. Agreed.
It's very wild. You're very special. You're very cool, man.
Oh, that's nice of you, dude. Thank you.
You're a real one.
Likewise, you guys are cool too.
You really have done a great job. Like your mission's amazing, and you're keeping alive a form of entertainment that me and so many
totally, man,
hold near and dear.
I know, man. I know. I think we need it. I think there's nothing wrong with short form content, but like it's rotting our brains. We need a little a longer story so you can get a story and like actually have a beginning, middle, end, and like have a character arc and some themes and values and like. Yeah, I feel like the entire business right now is fighting for its existence. Movies, movies are fighting to be a thing. Like, isn't that crazy?
It's weird, right?
That like movies are fighting to be in theaters and like exist as a format. It's like, dude, like, yeah, we need to save our planet. We need to save our freaking planet.
Can we just? I want to talk Wizards plot points really quickly.
Let's do it.
Like vampires, werewolves, will they like make a like? Are they woven into this universe the same way they were in the original? Yes, right.
Yeah. So we have some like monsters are a thing. Monsters are back. We got dragons. We got orcs. We got all sorts of things that are going to. Oh yeah.
But there were vampires, weren't there?
There were vampires, yes.
And can you correct? So Kelsey and I were debating something. So Bridget Mendler, her family owned a shop, right?
Yes.
Or a restaurant?
Yes, they owned I forget the name of it, but it was like rivaling our substation.
Thank you.
Yes, there's
Kelsey.
an episode about it.
Yeah, I watched the episode. It's like a comfort thing. I watch all the time.
Yeah.
So Kelsey, I'm just saying I was right. I don't want to brag about it, but it's fine.
Yeah, sorry, Kelsey, you got that one wrong.
Yeah, wait, she's gonna be so angry. You can come in if you want, but it's
still
okay.
love you, Kelsey. Is she here?
Yeah.
She walked in.
Kelsey, probably. Do we need to debate the point?
She's definitely around, dude.
Feel free to come in. There's another mic over here.
I wanted to know if Billy's gonna have to compete, and I think the answer is yes.
Yes,
probably.
She is competing. And the big question that fans are asking online is like, is she Alex's daughter? Like what is going on there? And there's all sorts of speculation going. There's crazy rumors like evil Alex in the movie. It's actually evil Alex's daughter. And like there's
interesting.
All sorts of theories going on. And I love the question, and we tackle that in this season. And we go for some like I told you earlier, we increase serialization to try to maximize the viewing experience on Disney Plus. We added soap, we added drama. And dude, like the last 2 episodes of season finale, Selena brings like unbelievable A-game level emotion, tears to this ending. I was like blown away. And I reminded her because like she did that scene on set. We shot it. And I was just like, I was off camera and I was just like, You just like won an Oscar. Like she had to work up the tear, the emotion. Like it was a epic, dramatic ending. She could have been on that performance could have been in a Scorsese movie. I mean, literally, she like crushed it. And I pulled her aside afterwards. I was like, Selena, do you realize you just got the emotion going there? And she goes, yeah, like that's what I do. I got it done. I go, you got it on the first take. And she goes, yeah, like almost like so. And I go, do you remember 15 years ago when we did the Wizards movie, at the end of the Wizards movie, my character forgets you. And you have to have this like tear-felt speech to me where you're trying to make me remember I'm your family member. Do you remember, Selena? You couldn't do that. You couldn't get the tears going. And I had to pull you aside. You and I had to have a deep talk to get yourself to cry because you couldn't get there, remember? And she goes, whoa, you're right. Like we come full circle. Like now she's mastered her craft. She got it in a heartbeat. But she was a kid then, and she was just trying to figure out, and she was panicking that she couldn't get the tears going. And in this moment, it was really special for me because I was like, you're so good.
The amount of thousands of hours she worked between those two moments.
Oh,
holy shit.
Unbelievable. Like,
that's crazy to think about.
The ability that she got these waterworks going was like, it was scripted where the tear was on her face, and she got it there.
That's not
like
impressive.
Unfreaking believable. Unbelievable.
She's going to be back for season 2, yeah?
Oh, yeah, big time. Yeah, she's in there's a 2-part finale that's like all her. And it's 10 episodes, so we packed a punch. You know, we did it in 10 episodes this season. 2-part finale. She's the driving force of the last 2, and that's where everything gets discussed, revealed. And there's a little Easter egg that, like, you got to watch a second time because you won't notice it. It was actually my wife's idea. Like, late at night before we went to set, she goes, you should do this. And I went, that's going to get people's attention. Guaranteed it's going to be like a viral thing afterwards. But you miss it at first because it's a very emotional scene. You miss it. And then you go back and watch it again and you're like, wait, is that what I think it is that they put in the scene? Yeah, it is. Holy crap. What does this mean about Alex? One of those kind of things.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like a 10 episode. I like a serialized multicam, dude.
Packing it in, man. I think that's what you got to do. Like, we got to.
Well, but the original, like, multicam is designed to be an evergreen and, like, a, you know.
Non sequitur. Yeah. Every episode's different. And, like, that'd be lightly serialized episodes. You know, you'd have 2 or 3 parters
Scattered,
or whatever.
yeah.
But, like, this is a whole. We're looking at it almost like a serialized show.
That's sick.
Yeah.
You got to watch it. It's on Disney Plus, obviously. We're going to put a link below.
October 8th. Boom.
Go, go, go. Go, go, go. What are you thinking over there?
Would you guys ever?
That's the best handoff ever, by the way. That was awesome.
This is very straightforward,
Just
right?
boom. What are you thinking over there? I love it.
Would you guys ever tap into like the crossover episodes again, or do you think that's like a thing of the past?
Well, you need other shows to cross over with, don't you?
Well, you could bring back Hannah or
sadly.
The Sweet
That's
Life.
a great point. Yeah, sadly.
You guys came back.
Sadly,
They can come back too.
That is the saddest truth ever.
I'm sorry.
Yes, you need other shows. So Disney's launching a couple other shows right now that we hope succeed because we would love to cross over with them. But yeah, hell yeah, dude, I'd love that stuff. Like, they have 2 other shows coming out, Vampirina and a show called Electric Bloom. And they're coming out around the same time as ours. And I hope they really succeed because I would love for us to do fun stuff like that in the future. Try to recreate that magic, I think would be good.
Vampirina? Is that, Kelsey, based off the animated Vampirina?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
I wanted to meet Vampirina and go to Playhouse Disney. You know, that's the part of the park at Disney World.
Hell yeah.
That's where you used to be able to meet JoJo from JoJo's Circus.
Wait, JoJo?
Do you remember
Siwa?
that? No, guys, this is.
What do you mean?
You know, Carlos.
Oh, he knows. Okay, so I'm out of the loop on this one.
Dude.
What
And
is this one?
and I'm talking to a guy who carried the wand, bro.
Oh, crap, sorry.
And you literally drew the ears,
I
and
just
you don't
lost
know
my street
JoJo from Circus.
I'm sorry, bro. I lost my street cred.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No, you have a lot of street cred, so you can lose like a little tiny piece of it and still have the most.
There's a little chink in the armor.
You're more than okay. By the way, you really are a real director. So Monster Summer, that's the movie you did with Mel Gibson. Very casual. This is the year. You're out there, man.
We're doing it. I'm trying hard.
You're building something real. Question: do you ever talk to JT Austin?
Every so often, yeah.
I'm worried about him.
Oh, you are?
Are you worried about him? Have you ever been worried about him?
No, I mean, look, the show ended and everyone kind of went their separate ways. You know, a show is like a high school or college. Like, movies are for that way too. Like, you spend so much time together. You get to know people so well. And then you go your separate ways. You know, he's lives in a different part of the United States. We'd all get together every so often. You know, I think maybe almost yearly or every other year, we'd get the whole cast back together and hang out. Selena and I lived literally down the road from each other. Like, I was in Encino, she was in Studio City, and then she moved literally walking distance from me, like walking distance. So we were literally next door neighbors. So we hung out all the time, and we always had the closest bond. We're closest in age. So, you know, everyone just kind of went their separate ways and did their things. I honestly don't know Jake well enough now to know, you know, what to think. I saw he like deleted his Instagram or something, or there was like all the pictures were taken off. So, but I don't know. I love that man. I spent so much time together with him. I want the absolute freaking best for him. I want him, pardon me, I want him back on the show. I could love to get him back on the show.
You've tried.
I've let him know we want it to happen, and I think next season, if we continue, you know, if that continues to work out well, hell yeah, we'd get him back on. That's the hope. That's the hope. I'd love to get him back on next season.
Sub shop billionaire,
dude, coming in spiffy duds, you know, ready to rock.
Did you go to the wedding?
Unfortunately, no. I'm about to announce a project that I was out of state on, and there was no way I can get back. I literally tried every single way to try to get back. We talked all about it ahead of time. We
look good.
Trust me. I know. It breaks my heart. Her and my wife talked all about the dress and the planning and everything. And I gave her my one piece of advice on the wedding was like the best advice I ever got right before my wedding. Someone pulled me aside at my wedding and said, "Hey, dude, hold your wife's hand and take like a solid minute and just look around the room and look at your wife and go, this is our minute. And like, look around the room and just remember." To this day, that's like my one memory from my wedding is like that moment. So I told her, I passed that on of just like, take a moment to just take it in because everyone's going to be coming up to her and everyone's going to be, you know, saying hi and pulling her in every direction.
No,
Like,
it's
take
a blur
with
after
Benny.
that.
Totally. I hope they did that. So
Very real.
yeah.
Well, Wizards Beyond Waverly Place. It's waiting for you. It's on Disney Plus.
These guys are great.
You're great. Final thoughts?
Yeah, the one thing I want to know is like, what is it like, or how is Disney acting compared to other forms of acting? Do you have to like learn how to act for Disney Channel?
I mean, I think you need to learn how to act for sitcoms. Sitcoms all have like, whether it's Friends or a kid's show, it's the same rhythm. The dial is turned up or turned down, right? Like if I was doing an adult sitcom, which I've done in the past, you just dial it down a little bit, but it's the same deal. It's like the jokes are structured the same. The rhythm is similar. The blocking is similar. The format is the exact same. Whether you're shooting a kid's show or you're shooting an adult show, it's the same camera operators that you see on the kid's show as you see on the adult show. So tons of similarities. Your just dial is up or down. You know, on a kid's show, you're a little bigger. You have more energy. You're putting it out there in a little more explicit way. You reel back when you're doing an adult show, but it's the same stuff.
Like How I Met Your Mother.
Totally. Yeah, totally. It's the exact same thing.
Got it.
Just, you know, not a little more internal.
Yeah.
I'm not using my hands as much. I'm not as expressive, you know.
I feel like Dan's learning what a sitcom is for the first time ever right now.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm
4 cameras, audience, stage.
And sometimes no audience. And then it's like,
Sometimes no audience, yeah.
you don't want to be in one of those situations where you're not laughing in Video Village. And then they're like, better fucking laugh. And then there's a bunch of people just like nervous laughing. And they watch the same fucking joke 27 times.
100%. And then it just turns into a dull yell. And you're like, I know you, dude. You're not laughing.
But it's also like, what coverage is left, dude? Like, what coverage is left? Like, the 28th take, it's like, fuck, there's just no way.
Yeah.
There's no way you can figure this shot out from another vantage point.
Yeah.
It's just not real.
No.
Anywho, you good?
Yep. Oh, wait, let me ask a dumb question here.
Let's go.
Do you ever watch Harry Potter and compare wizard stories?
Dude, we used to do that all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, the Wiz Tech,
yeah, that was the crossover I wanted.
It still could happen.
It still could happen.
Could it happen? Who owns Harry?
Isn't it Universal?
Yeah.
Couldn't happen.
No. Yeah.
Well, there goes that.
Yeah. It was maybe will Evelini come back?
We wanted to try to get her back. We tried to get her back for the first season. I think timing didn't work out. If there's a way to get her back, you know, Octavia Spencer.
Yeah.
If there's a way to get her back.
Heard of her?
Isn't that unbelievable? Octavia Spencer did a kid show. This is before she's, Octavia Spencer. But I remember she came on the show and just destroyed, demolished. I was like, this woman is unbelievable as like, you know, this big character-y actor. But she just demolished it. She poured her. I remember watching her just going, dang, you're good.
No, she's incredible.
Unbelievable.
And her character is behind the unicorn scandal, and that's what gets you kicked out of WizTech. And then that's why you have to go become the vice principal of a real school. I know the story. You should watch it.
Crap.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Go link below. It's on Disney Plus. Justin Russo, also known as David Henrie, everybody.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you. That was great. Thank you.